So this is the result of what I consider above average material. Here we have some jewelry or gem grade Brazilian agate, and it's got a nice little cluster of crystals on top. And the difference between average or regular grade and gem grade is the banding and things like that. Now here's a little piece of lesser quality. I mean, it's okay, but it doesn't have the sharp contrasts in the bands that would make for jewelry. Here's another piece of a little lesser quality. It's still okay, you know, it'll make a nice giveaway piece, but certainly won't make it into my private collection. And then below that is another piece of the jewelry grade or gem grade. And you might say, well, how come you didn't cut this into slabs? Well, I have cut a bunch of slabs off of it, and these are just the ends, if you will, that I've decided to make display pieces. And next is a nice piece of moss agate from Oregon, Maury Mountain. I decided to show this in sunlight, so I'm having a challenge seeing it in the camera. So hopefully you guys will see this and it looks good. Then we'll come over. Now this one was actually a disappointment. This is ruby and zoisite, and I don't know if you can tell, it's smooth, but certainly not a polish. So that'll go back to the work table to see if I can figure out what to do to put a better polish on this. So not everything is perfect, but I'll keep trying. Next we have a nice little piece of blue forest petrified wood from I believe it's Wyoming, and I just cut both ends of it off. You can see the blue agate in there. It's actually a nice, it's a small piece for that area because it gets much larger, but it's a good representation. And then I have a nice piece of Montana agate. Took a good shine. Montana is always one of my favorites to play with. And then another nice piece of Montana agate, and I hope I'm not giving you guys too much glare. Now this one is actually surprising. It took a decent polish. This is aventurine, green aventurine. And funny thing is, let's see if we can find some of there. See the little black spots on there? This was actually embedded in a pond, and somebody called me and said, if you break it out, you can have it. So I went ahead and went out there with a sledgehammer and broke it all out. And this took a pretty decent polish. I'm surprised because it's a fibrous material. Next we have an end cap of a Mexican coconut. And all kinds of swirls and stuff going on in there. And we have a couple of little pieces of, I think this is Laguna agate. Not 100% positive. But it's got all kinds of little crystals and stuff going on in there. And I think this is also Laguna. The center's filled with calcite, so that's never going to take a very good polish. I suppose I could soak it in acid and try and dissolve the calcite, but I'm not going to bother. Then I have a nice piece of Agua Nueva. This stuff always takes a good polish. Now this, don't look at the polish because I'm basically going to put this back in my slab grabber and take some slices off the back. So it's covered with tape to protect it so that I can put it in the slab grabber and cut some more pieces off of it. But I'm hoping that this has got such nice banding in it that it will show some iris. Well, we'll see. Then I have a piece of Mad River agate, and if you look at the back of it, you think, oh my goodness, that's just going to be crazy. And I mean, it's okay, but the outside certainly doesn't match the inside, and it's still a nice solid piece of agate. So it's, again, I consider it above average. I'm certainly not disappointed in the least. Next is a kind of intermediate grade Brazilian agate. It's decent, very little fracturing, but not anything compared to the gem grade stuff. And you saw this guy a little earlier as well. Now I have a piece of obsidian, and I gotta say, in the sunlight, the polish isn't all that great. But the reason I chose this guy, and I don't know if I can do this or not, but it is, where'd it go? There it is. This is called Midnight Lace Obsidian. Next we have another piece of Brazilian. I cut both sides of it. There's a nice little crystal pocket. And then this one's got pattern running all throughout with a crystal pocket in the center. Certainly not disappointed in that guy either. And then some more jewelry grade, although not as nice as the previous ones. I'm going to save that guy for later. Here I have a Moroccan geode that is just full of crystals. Just packed full of crystals. And actually be another pair. There we go. Of Moroccan crystals. Another piece of okay grade Brazilian. Again, great display piece. Really kind of hard to get some decent cabs out of. Same with this guy here. This is another piece of Brazilian. And that's all right. I'm certainly not disappointed in it, but not what I would call cabbing or jewelry grade material. There's another one, same kind of thing, where a little bit too many fractures in there for my preference. It'll still be a nice giveaway piece for someone. And then I have a couple of pieces of black skin agate from India. And this guy, that fracture is actually healed, so it's a good solid surface and just makes for a wonderful display piece. And then got another one here, and got all kinds of stuff going on in there. Some moss coming up from the bottom, fortification coming in there. Certainly, again, not disappointing at all. And then this last piece I said I was going to wait on is because this is just stunning, stunning rainbow obsidian with all that blue in there. And I hope you guys can see it because it just looks fantastic to me. Well, this is what I consider above average material, and you can decide for yourself in the comments and let me know. Thank you.